9 a.m., Wednesday, October 18th, 2023. I'd like to call this meeting of the Keene Economic Development Corporation to order. We're glad that everybody's here this morning. Welcome you here. You might, as I said before, you might know that this is the first official meeting where we're being live streamed, and so we remember to use our mics and that sort of stuff as we speak, and we'll be fine, I believe. So we're going to start this meeting this morning we have a quorum. I will make that note. I didn't notice that. We all are present, so we have a quorum. I start this meeting this morning. Samantha will stand. Samantha will have our invocation, and then Wes is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Can we stand, please?
Our Heavenly Father, thank you for a wonderful day and for this beautiful weather. Help guide us on the Type A board to make the decisions that are the best for the city of Keene. Help us always to keep in mind that the citizens are important, and how we make the future of Keene great is to make the right decisions. Thank you for all of the employees of the city of Keene. They all do a wonderful job. We commend them for what they do, and please stay by them and their families in all the decisions that are being made. And again, thank you for the wonderful day. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Really, I don't have much to say under President's remarks, except you might notice a new face down at the end of the table. I'm terribly embarrassed that I don't even know Kit's last name. That's why I don't know it. Okay. Kit is an administrative assistant to the city manager. You may recognize her from being at the police department for the last couple of years, code enforcement officer, dog catcher, animal control, whatever you want to call it. I've helped her chase cows, so I know what she does a little bit. So we're glad you're here. Okay.
Thank you.
And that's really all I have to say about that. About the president's remark, I'll reserve the right to say something later if I need to. But right now, we'll go directly to the city administrator's remarks. Don, you want to take that, please, sir?
Morning, everybody. There's a lot going on, as you know, and thank you for introducing Kit. I was going to do that, but that's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
No, you're fine.
You even knew her last name, probably.
Yes, Keppel. Anyways, Ashton Home Place is moving along pretty good. They're probably going to break ground on Sunset Ridge pretty quick. And we're still in negotiations with a lot of the other things that we've mentioned before. So things are looking good as far as that aspect goes. And then I would like to introduce to you today Mr. Waylon Wolf, Jr. Enterprises. They kind of want to, during public comments, introduce themselves to us. They're interested in possibly going out to the industrial park with their business.
Okay.
Mr. Wolf.
Yep. And these old microphones, though, you have to really get up close.
Real close?
Real close.
Hello.
That's close. That's good. Thank you.
Good morning, y'all. My
Morning.
name's Waylon Wolf, and I own Waylon Wolf Jr. Enterprises. Waylon Wolf Jr. Enterprises also has a company called T2T Services, where we focus on sanitation, but we're a mobile sanitation or fleet service repair company, where we have service trucks. We go out from here to Florida to Pennsylvania now and service Waste Management, Waste Connections, Republic, and also smaller entities. We currently are leasing a 14-acre facility in Fort Worth, Texas, and we've already bought buildings, and we did buy some land in Haltom City in 2019 with help of the EDC. Unfortunately, right before we broke ground, if we would have put our building up, we would have already outgrown that facility.
It's a good sign.
So we worked with the city, we resold the land, started looking for more other land. In 2018, I built a house in Godley, Texas. I'm from Fort Worth, but we built a house in Godley, Texas. And We like it out this area, and started looking at EDCs and properties, and spoke with Mr. Cash, I believe is his
Mr.
name,
Cash.
over in Johnson
Yeah.
County. Been speaking with him for about a year on and off, and then found the industrial property that y'all have here, and got a hold of Mr. Williams, or I'm sorry, Mr. Martin, and went out and looked at it, et cetera, and then we've been putting some stuff together to hopefully maybe work a deal with y'all. I'll give you a little background on myself and the company. In 2011, I got in some trouble, went to state penitentiary for DWIs. I got out April 30th of 2013. Had $100 in a food stamp card. 2013, 3 days after release, I went to work for a company called Commercial Metals. It's a big recycling metal company up in Fort Worth, but they're all over the world. October of 2013, I got my first service truck. I've wanted to do this, and still worked at Commercial Metals Incorporated. Took me about a year to get all my tools and compressor and things that I needed. I did everything out of my pocket, and got my first customer on June 3rd, 2014. So I worked a full-time job, finally got my first customer. So in 2014, I did 100,000 W-2 and 1099. 2015, I did 711,000. I went full-time. 2016, we did 1.53. 2017, we did 2.8. 2018, we did 3.3. 2019, I did 5.6. 2020, almost 14 million.
Wow,
I have 0 investors, 0 backers.
good.
We've done it ourselves. Last week, I celebrated 12 years sober.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Our
That's great, yeah.
Thank you.
Give a plan for that, yeah.
Our some of the things I've looked at that cities look at is like growth and employment and stuff. So our average, I would say, between the line employee is about $90,000 a year. We pay our people, okay? I like to help people. We like to train, et cetera, people that want to work. Obviously, we already know what the world is today compared to 20 years ago. It's hard to find people with technical skills or wanting to get into that or farming or whatever it be. So we do find our people in second, third chance stations and, or states, I guess
Sure.
you'd say, state
Stages.
situation. And I can say this, I've got some of the best guys that are very, very loyal that would probably still either be on the street or maybe making $20,000, $30,000 a year somewhere in a warehouse that are making $120,000 to $130,000 working for me as we've built them up and changed their life.
Great.
That's good.
So with that all being said, is we do have, the reasoning for the property is the service trucks are on site. We do have the 14 acres that we have a refurb facility at that we've added on, built buildings, et cetera. So we also do in-house work there where we'll do projects from $1,500 to $200,000. So we are looking for some industrial land to build our new facilities. I have already purchased the buildings back in 19 when I did the deal with Haltom City. So we already have all the buildings. They're brand new. They haven't been erected. But one of the facilities is 125 by 85. That's the shop with a 10-ton crane. And then we have a separate office that's 48 by 50 that both buildings will match. We'll do the stone, the porches, whatever y'all's, recommendations or requirements are. Land-wise, we're on 14 acres. Obviously, it's leased, but we would like to get into that 10 and maybe a possible of even more as we grow. We do have started an online parts company, which is still a startup, but that thing is where we'll sell heavy truck parts online. Will also be what, if we were to relocate to Keene, you know, the sales tax, et cetera, situation, things that y'all are looking for, not only giving your citizens an opportunity to work and give them a
Good.
salary, but know this, that all of my employees live here in North Texas. So we have guys in Florida, Georgia, Philadelphia, Oklahoma, wherever. They all live here. So we mobilize the service truck to the facility, and then they work 10 on, we fly them home. They're here for 4 or 5 days with their family. They go back. Sometimes I don't see those trucks for 2 years. When they're finishing somewhere, they're heading somewhere else. We're extremely, extremely busy.
Good.
COVID had an impact. 2021 brought us down around $7 million. 2022, we came back almost 11 million. 2023, we probably get back up hopefully around 13. Other than that, man, we'd like to have an opportunity to visit with y'all and maybe work something out and call a place home.
Okay. Have you, one particular place out there you favor over another on our acreage? Have you looked or decided?
Yes, sir.
about
I've
that?
looked at it, and any of it really, we could make work. I looked at the property. It has the gas line. I got online and looked at
Okay.
all that. The retention pond doesn't bother us. I've got some friends that are in the big dirt work with oil and gas companies, so that's something I've already spoke to them about, that we could do that properly through TCEQ if that was something that we ended up trying to take. I really like the I think it was 5 acres, and there's 3 acres, and then there was, I think, 10 acres, but that's right there by Pocket Springs. It kind
Right.
of goes by the railroad track.
Right.
And as, you know, hopefully if something like that was to happen, maybe the people with the railroad track eventually might sell, you know, for long-term investment purposes, but I know that's not part of y'all's property, but any of it would be effective.
I'm sure.
I have a comment to make really
Yeah.
quick.
Okay.
Discussion can't go back and forth at this moment.
Oh, okay.
You can only speak to the board, and y'all can discuss things after executive. If you are planning to take action, you can discuss stuff.
Okay.
Then.
All right.
Thank
Any questions here that we can, any comments that we can say? Okay, well,
So no questions either?
Not right now.
No,
So-
we can get into that later.
yeah. Don will work with you anyway, I'm sure.
Yes, sir.
Be more than glad to. And we welcome you this far to be here to speak to us. Would you care to introduce your other 2 guests back there? They can sit where they are, but just stand up and be a,
This is Miss Blakely. She works directly for me, Blakely Hernandez. And this is Hugh Connor, a really good buddy of mine, sobriety brother, and
good.
he's a good friend.
Good. Well, welcome all of you. Thank you for coming to our meeting.
Yes, sir.
And we appreciate your presentation, and I'm sure Donna will be asking you more questions and to get more information from you, and he'll be more than glad to work with you.
I will.
If you have any trouble, talk to Kit. She'll straighten him out over there. Okay?
A few more things about our company is we actually got a contract with the city of Plano, so we do work for cities. City of Plano, city of Richardson, city of Garland, and Tyler. We repair their refuse trucks. City of Plano ended up expanding it to all 2,600 types of piece of equipment they have. So we have done, we're on the buy board, et cetera, stuff like that to actually work in cities, and we've done some stuff with cities that way.
Well, thank you very much for being here, and like I say, Don will be your contact point, and we'll be glad. We meet every 3rd Wednesday, but if we need to meet for something special in between, we're more than willing to do that too, so.
Yes, sir.
Special
Thank
meeting.
you.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you guys for coming. Appreciate it. All right, any other comments, citizens' comments? All right, if not, we'll move on to item number 4. Consider approval of the Type A EDC minutes dated August 16. You have a copy of those there. Give a minute here to look over. Anytime that you have looked over or made anything or comments you want to make or adjustments you need to make, we'll accept a motion.
I make a motion that we accept the type EDC minutes dated August 16th, 2023.
Motion on the floor, second. I'll second. Carl's going to second that. All those that approve, raise a hand, please. It's unanimous. We'll move on to the next item. Consider item 5. Consider approval of the Type A EDC financial statements ending August 31, 2023 and September 30, 2023. Mr. Charles, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, sir.
Thank you. Good morning.
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 What I have is the August and September. First, the August, just to kind of do a recap and review of that. Through August, we see that the year-to-date on the revenue portion was at $291,198, which is about 97% of our target, which is over 5.4%, which is very favorable. Most of the revenues come from sales tax, as you know. On the other side of the expenditures, very low on that is because we paid off both loans.
Right.
Not too much activity going on, but the operational side, which is right at 38,000 year-to-date at this time, which is about 21% of our expenditures. So very conservative approach with that through August. I will mention to you that because of that, we are putting more money into the money market, which is on the second page. We at $271,848. Now, I will tell you the September report, and I can pause for a moment if you like to have any questions on the August report at this time.
Any questions or comments on August financials?
Well, I do. On operating revenue,
Yes, sir.
there's a deduction of $4,095, and I am unclear as to why that would be taken out of revenue.
Oh, on the current balance side,
Yes, sir?
normally, that means that's an overage. When you see a deduction of a parentheses on the revenue, because that's really good to the point where we had a higher interest rate, I don't know if you recall, from 2.5% to 5.12, which means we have an overage of $4,095. That negative really means that it is over on the revenue side. When there's expenditures with the parentheses, that means it's a loss.
Right.
So it's the opposite of that.
Okay, well, I was
It's just a
unclear on
county
that.
term.
Yeah.
And Charles? I
Yes,
have a question. On the training and travel, we've
Yeah.
allotted $2,775.40 for travel and training, so we have not used any of that, correct?
absolutely. Our
Okay,
Don has done a good job of staying in-house, making sure that those expenditures that is not needed and not used is stayed there. This is for budgetary reasons.
good.
And I really give a lot of kudos to Don on that aspect, using
Don.
his experience instead of going out and using your expenses for those costs.
Good, thank you.
Don's been wearing so many hats, he couldn't leave town anyway, so,
And I have another question as well.
okay?
Yes, sir.
And this is loosely related to all of this. Last night's forum, one of the candidates made a statement that a board owes money. Were these candidates not provided financials so they knew what was actually going on and what they're going to be talking about at the forum?
I think it was left up to them to ask for information, because I talked to one gentleman, it wasn't the same one, and he hadn't seen any budget or anything, but he said he knew he could access it if he needed to, but he didn't. So I think it was more them not asking for information than not being provided the information they needed.
We need to keep it kind of to the financial statements.
Okay, well, that was tied into that about how, if we owed or not, yeah, so,
I know
Yes.
that our adopted budget is on our city's website.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And speaking just on that, and that's a good point, President Beeson. The Constitution of Texas, Texas Constitution, the law states in section 12.007, whenever the budget is adopted, it is only used or make any changes or to request only on an emergency basis only. The recommendations of any sort have to be amended back.
Right.
You have to go through the budget process again. Keep in mind, when we adopted a budget, I have to immediately send to the state, to the county, to our bond advisors, to all the entities that affects the city of Keene. Now, if we want to go back and redo that, that will affect our credit ratings with the city, that will affect our taxes, and that will affect our debt revenue taxes. I don't mind doing that, but in my 30 years, I have never done that. So a lot of times these consideration requests have to be very careful and really thought through.
Thank you for that
Okay.
Thank you.
clarification.
Onward to the September, if there's any more questions. Thank you. And for the September, those are.
Let me, one point of order. Do we need to vote on these separately, or can we vote on them together?
You can vote on them together.
Because they're so both listed as the same agenda. Okay, want to make sure before we went too, sorry, Charles.
Yes, sir, absolutely. For the September, good news on that. The revenue exceeded what our projection is. That's where you see that negative 15,512. That means the revenue was over. As you can see, the target for the year was 300,000. We received 316,512. So you see that in parentheses of the 16,512 toward the right. That means it's 5.5% over our projected revenue. That is great news. And much kudos to the increase in our sales tax over the past couple months that we've been receiving, more than what we projected for. On the other side, our expenditures for the year to date of September came to about 41,812. I'm gonna put a stop to that because right now we're still receiving September invoices. I will not give you the year to date until next month till we receive all September invoices in our financial system.
Okay.
And I'll give you an up-to-date September report finalized. And that is great news because one of the things we really push hard to as a staff and through Don is to make sure that we have enough money in our money market account so that we can do more things for 2024. And as you know, we had just adopted our budget for the year for 2024, and so we got money in our account right now of $262,516. That is very good going forward. And plus, with our new 2024 budget, it's more good news ahead. Projected revenue going to increase from 300,000 to 340,000. So if there's anything else any questions, I'm here to answer any. All good news all across the board.
Any questions from the group? About either in August or
We will receive a year-end total after that
Yes,
has
sir.
all been
Absolutely.
received. Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. And once again, I want to thank y'all. This probably be my last year-end reporting because, you know, my retirement is in August. I will have all the budget, all the information available and ready for you to go forward for 2025. I can't tell you what a privilege and a joy it been to do the financials for the city and for Type A and Type B boards. Me and Beeson, Mr. Beeson, the president, have talked since my first week here 5 years ago. And he's been a strong support, trusted me from day one. You don't know what trust means, and I'm sure you do, what that means to me and my family. And when people put the trust in you, it brings on a certain commitment and loyalty when they put that trust on you. I want to thank you personally, Mr. Beeson.
You're welcome. You certainly can extend that out to August 2028 or 29 if you want to.
You're awesome, Charles.
Yeah,
Don't know what our city would have done without you, and I've been on this board for a while,
yeah,
and nobody like you.
yeah. We feel very
It's
comfortable
gonna
in
be
your
hard
reports.
shoes to follow.
Thank you.
Thank you for your leadership. Okay. Item number 5, consider approval of the Type A Economic Development Financial Statements ending August 31, September 30, August 31, 2023, September 30, 2023. You have a motion on the floor?
I make a motion that we accept the final statements, financial statements ending August 31st and September the 30th of 2023.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Second?
Second?
Second. All those in favor, raise your hand, please. Approved. Thank you very much. All right. Item 6, discuss and give staff direction regarding an ordinance authorizing the Type A EDC to undertake any project the Type B EDC may undertake under Chapter 501 of the Texas Local Government Code. So, Mr. Don, you want to explain all that to us?
I'm going to let Ms. Tabitha start.
Oh, Tabitha, okay.
Good afternoon. I know several board members have expressed an interest to be able to work with Type B board. So I reached out to get some more information, and if you will look on the memorandum that is in your packet, if you look on page 2, it'll give you the section of the Texas Local Government Code where it says that Type A board can work with Type B boards and take on Type B projects as soon as council enacts an ordinance saying that it's okay for y'all to do that. So that's really why we're bringing this item to you, is to get your recommendation or not to go forward with the ordinance.
I have a question on that. And so I read through this very quickly. Once we get to 7,500 population, that goes away?
I will find out that information and get back to you.
Because that's what I'm reading.
I'll get back to you.
Okay.
And also, this would mean, I believe, that we would decide if we want to participate in that project or not. It wouldn't be an automatic participation.
Well, it's
My
not an
personal,
obligation.
I would be interested in things that have to do with retail, maybe, nothing else. Where right now, we're limited to industry and commercial.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I have a question too, if I may, on the bylaws of the Keene Economic Development Corporation that were amended July 29, 2011. It states that, I'm sure you already know what it states, that there has to be a vote of the citizens for that to happen. I forget, I don't see the place right now.
10% vote, isn't it? 10% of registered voters?
Well, it has to be a vote of the citizens. Now, back the bylaw, when this thing was created, was that addressed? Because at one time I read something years ago that makes me think that was addressed back at that time.
You said it's a 10% vote for what? For you to be able to work with B board?
Yes, Let me,
I'm not sure about the bylaws. I know about Texas Local Government Code. And according to the state of Texas, you do have the ability to work with Type B as long as council will enact an ordinance saying so.
yeah, I had read that also, earlier, months ago, years ago, but then I looked at this, I don't know why I can't find it right now, point right to it, I took it out of my booked for that particular reason, but
But
as long as you've
I can check on it and
Yeah.
get back to you.
please do, because, and I would hope that maybe it's already been done at the time this was conceived. I don't know why, sure, unless I picked up the wrong
I think it's that
stuff.
fourth paragraph down on the second page, says unless the city council receives a petition from more than 10%
Okay.
of the registered voters.
Okay, that's what it is then. All right.
But 60 days, we could go ahead without, if they don't do this within 60 days, we could go ahead, is what I'm reading in this.
Okay.
You wouldn't be able to take on type B projects without the ordinance.
But the
Well,
ordinance
correct.
has to be
Yeah.
Yeah,
passed by
has to have
council.
that too, but I was questioning that part that they were referring to, and that, so just make sure, please, that we're, if we pass it, that's okay, that we can do that,
I will.
all right? Without having to go back and have a vote or a petition or whatever is referred to in the bylaws. That's again in the amended July 29, 2011, it's just kind of compare. Now, go ahead.
This
Any
may not can be
comment?
discussed now, but I have a question. Would this mean that if the A and B board got together, that we might possibly could entertain trying to get us a separate police department building?
We'll look into that, if
Okay.
that applies.
It doesn't specify.
Because that we need because of all the population that's coming in here now. We're growing so fast.
But it would allow us to work on certain projects with the B-Board. Now, their charge and our charge is totally different. We're industry, basically, is what we're looking for, and what we're supposed to be financing, things along that line. This would allow us to assist them with retail development or whatever it may be. That would be a good thing, I think, personally.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, each item would have to come back, or each project, before both boards and council for approval.
Sure.
Right. So anyway, that is the, what the motion is for.
You don't have to do a motion, it's just direction to staff.
I'll just give direction, okay. May I ask what direction the B-Board took yesterday? Did they talk about this at all?
Yes, they are
Okay.
going to get clarification brought back to them, and they are in favor of the ordinance.
Okay, I for one would like to do that too.
Sure.
Is that okay?
Yes,
Agreed?
definitely.
Okay, so same
Make it
same
happen.
charge, basically. Gather a little more information, make sure it's legitimate to do that, and bring it back to us. I think we're in favor of it if everything works out that way.
Thank you.
All right, any other action on that? It does not require a vote. This next one does not require a vote. Discuss and give staff direction regarding agenda formatting changes. So I'm sure you'll have to explain to us what that is too.
If you'll look at the very last document in your packet, you can reference it while we're discussing it. Council here recently approved formatting changes to their agenda. B-Board has also authorized changes to theirs. I'm trying to get it streamlined so that there's not a bunch of differences. So that's basically what I'm asking for. But the revised agenda that's in your packet gives you a glimpse as to what it will look like in the future.
I don't see anything in there that concerns me too much. Anybody else? Y'all look at it and discuss
I
it.
think it's great.
Looks professional to me.
I'd say however you present it to us, we're gonna go with that. So,
If it makes your job easier, we're all for
yeah,
it.
sure.
Awesome, thank you.
Questions or anything before we go on to the next item
No,
on that
I
one?
think that's
Okay.
great. Thank you.
All right,
Have-
item 8, make sure I'm correct here. Pursuant to the Texas Open Meetings Act, Chapter 551, Texas Government Code, the board members may convene into an executive session, and at this particular time, it is our choice to do that. So we're going to, at 9:34 a.m., we're going to go into executive session to discuss Section 551072, deliberations about real property. Anything else I officially need to say I didn't say? Okay, we're now in executive session. We'll be back as soon as we finish this discussion. Okay, 9:55 a.m. We are convening into a regular session. There was no action taken during the special session, executive session, I apologize, during executive session. Our next item on the agenda is 10, a request for future agenda items. Anybody have any request?
I am not happy with the sign for the industrial park.
Oh,
I believe we need something that is indicative of a good place to set your business.
yeah, we've had that discussion several times, and it's never really been finalized. Where do we put it? What road do we put it on? And so let's put it on that item for discussion. Okay? Can we do that?
Put it on the
Yes, sir,
agenda.
I have.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other minutes? Any other discussion, any other questions, or, okay. All right then, at 9:56 a.m., I will adjourn this meeting of the Keene Economic Development Corporation, Wednesday, October 18, 2023. So we're adjourned.
Thank you.